So if you haven't been living under a rock, you would know that there's quite a conspiracy sort of phenomenon going on. So whether it's April 8th and the eclipse, or matching numbers and signs and symbols, or it's Q and just so many things, people are looking at biblical prophecy, their attempt to interpret it, as well as many other things that are happening around the world. The Statue of Liberty just got struck by lightning. We had the 4.8 magnitude earthquake just outside New York, and just various things. And people can't help but make connections to say maybe there's something going on at the cosmic level, and they're trying to make sense of it. Now, some things I believe is a stretch, and other things, as I've said before, there's a meaning behind it. And God, once we go and meet him and everything is said and done, we will look back and God will have shown us that he was showing us certain things, whether it's very overt, whether it's symbolic, whether it's a chance to repent, or whatever it is. There were seasons and times, just like with the Jews, for which there was a lunar calendar. There were all these things that happened throughout that time, and they could look up and see God working. And so the same thing is happening now. But the issue I have is that I'm a far future rapture person, meaning that it'll come in a couple hundred years. But a lot of people are interpreting things that are happening in the Bible very quickly, very early. And I'm not saying that that's bad in a sense. It's getting people to wake up and begin a journey to question things and then try to look at things from a spiritual eschatology end times perspective. But the issue is that it's dividing a lot of people, because not only are they all curious in a sense, they are open to the idea of signs and wonders and symbols and these things, but the end goal for everybody is to try to figure out what is the truth. So I've said before that your highest order should be what is really going on. You're not here to group yourself into some crazy online forum and you're like, oh, one of those guys or one of those alt-right, whatever, insert name here guy. And they just all look like conspiracy crazy people and all that. The highest order is to find out, is there something going on? And whether it's spiritual or whether it's signs and drops and things like that, whatever it is, to each their own. People are trying to figure it out, and I applaud the effort, but there's a big mess with regards to how people are looking at things, and it might be incorrect, and it's sort of hurting the overall movement in general. And so I'm going to go over a couple of things right now just to show you what is top of mind. Now, if you look at TikTok or any of these platforms, it's just trending like crazy right now. There's millions of views from all sorts of people talking about the connection to the 4.8 magnitude earthquake to the eclipse. Now, that's something that you can just observe on the surface level, but the question that a lot of people are asking is what really is going on, whether it's some kind of underground man-made thing that they're trying to free kids and something crazy with the Illuminati and all these stuff, everything from conjecture all the way down to spiritual significance, because people are looking at this and saying you had lots of warnings, the Statue of Liberty being struck, and just so many things. And people asking, is this a sign from the Lord about something else that is happening? And so, again, people are looking at this, they realize that this is news, and there's a couple of videos. And you can see it's quite scary in a sense. There's many clips like this, and it's just, this is what it is, right? And you can read up on people talking about the significance of it. But I want to show you a couple of other things that have also been trending due to the fact that these comms from Dan Scavino, as well as many others, they're being interpreted as being something very significant. So I want to just show you a quick clip of the significance, possibly, of what this means as it relates to the Q movement.
Dan repeatedly posted plus plus plus. Today's Delta, April 3rd, plus plus plus. Everything has meaning, nothing is random, plus plus plus. If you're not familiar, the 3 pluses means the house of Saud. So again, today is April 3rd, and what news did we have today, April 3rd? Donald Trump has this meeting with the Saudi leader, Mohammed bin Salman, plus plus plus. And that's what it looks like when it all comes together.
So again, if you follow this stuff with regards to the 3 sort of branches of power, in QPost 133, it talks about how the House of Saud was brought down, and then now you have the other sort of 2 legs, Soros, Rothschild, and they are known as plus, 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 and plus, plus, plus. And so again, this is significant in some sense, and we don't know what they talked about, but there's a lot of stir here, right? And again, if you have been following Trump and this whole thing for a while, when he went to Saudi Arabia, when he did all this stuff with the Las Vegas shootings and how he was saved and they're cleaning house, they're ridding themselves of the global elite. There's all of that stuff happening. And Trump, as well as many others, have been giving comms that things are happening right now. And all of these drops and decodes that people are doing, it's very significant, okay? And at the same time, whatever is happening, again, there's a lot of conjecture with whether it's the earthquake, whether it's spiritual signs and wonders and things like that. But there's a lot going on that we are not even privy to, and people are trying their best to interpret. But it's a big movement. I'm saying this because I don't want to say definitively this is what the meaning is, but the point I'm trying to make here is that it's a viral movement. A lot of people across the world are moving into this direction of, okay, I'm open to interpreting signs and wonders. I would like to know if it is legitimate or if it's just conjecture, if it's just your own thoughts and opinions, that's fine. But it's gaining a lot of momentum, and hence it's a catalyst for people to wake up and try to question the times, to understand end times, to understand God, understand Christ, maybe his return, and all these things, and what it means as God is trying to give hints to us, to our society, to this nation, the world, to repent, to come to him, and to do things in order to restore righteousness, to restore things so that people can come to know him. Because there's a great wickedness that's happening across the world, whether you want to say it's financial with the fiat currency and what they have had basically over us for a long time. And by they, I mean the global elite and these bankers or whoever that is, right? We know we can put some terms on it, Illuminati, deep state, all of that. But the point here is that people are moving in this direction. It's a greater movement than ever before. And we have to be very careful as we try our best to interpret and to go down a path of understanding and mutual agreement. But there's going to be some rifts. And this is where I just want to caution people as they get into this, that you don't want to outright brush it off, but at the same time, you don't want to be so deep that you may be detached from reality in some sense, but try to make sense of it as best as possible, because I believe we're moving into a time for which we will see the glory of God. We will see signs and wonders and various things. And as God is showing us this, whether it's very overt and visible or whether it's symbolic and there's numbers and ties to that, it's very real because the Bible talks about it. There's such a mathematical connection. There's such a quantum level of crazy connections that's happening both in the past and now, that all the more people have to increase and upgrade their intelligence to be able to process this. And so this is what's happening right now, guys. And so I'm giving you this forewarning, but also be ready because more people are trying to figure this out and we have to help them. Many of us that have been praying have been trying our best for years to wake people up, to get people on the same page, especially as we move into this year and people are waking up and finding out more about not only the Trump stuff, but also just this whole agenda that is behind everything. Love you guys. Be encouraged, stay prayed up, and be awake to the times. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.